Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and this is going to be a Pride reading vlog. It should be pretty short because I didn't read very much, but I did go to a Pride event, so you get to see some pictures and have fun.
So I went to Tri-City's main Pride event on June 2nd. There were quite a few people there and quite a few booths. Both our local library systems had booths, and there were 3 or 4 different churches / religious organizations, and there was Planned Parenthood, there was our local socialist organization, various health organizations, and a few restaurants, including one that was selling horchata and fresa con leche and cool drinks like that, which we would have gotten, except the line was very long because those drinks are very good. And yeah, I had really a lot of fun dressing up. I will insert some pictures that we took. Yeah, it was a good day. Also, this morning I went around to 3 different free little libraries, and I'll show you the footage of that. And I deposited books in each one along with my bookmarks that I made with QR codes for that I'm supporting to help them escape Gaza, and also one for a charity for the Sudanese people, and one for the Democratic Republic of Congo as well. And I will link all 3 of those below if you would like to get involved in supporting them financially or spreading awareness about them. So I've got a couple of updates. First of all, there is a bandage on my head, and I probably sound a little stuffed up. I've also been listening to Dan and Phil, so I might have a bit of an English accent. But anyway, you can probably see that. I don't think YouTube wants you to see that, but I was scooting on my scooter alongside my mom, who was on her bike, and I had a wee accident, and I went flying in a horizontal sort of fashion and slammed into the ground. Not face first, but my face did make contact after my knees, elbows, and hands. Fortunately, I was wearing my hand protection, so my hands are fine. I was not wearing my elbow or knee pads because I usually only wear them if I'm going on the road rather than on the bike path, because there's a higher chance of me getting in an accident if I have to swerve or brake to avoid getting hit by a car. But for a while I'm going to be wearing them also on the trails, because that's where I had this accident and I hurt my arms and my legs. So I don't think I can show you the scraped up part, but I can show you the band-aid. So this one is on this elbow, and I have a similar one on the other elbow that doesn't fully cover the scraping. And then I have only one of my knees got, oh, actually my other knee got a tiny bit, but not to turn red or anything, just pink. And my other knee didn't get scraped so much as just there's a bonk on it. And then right up here under this band-aid is a little cut that goes like this. But my face was mostly protected, and my nose got smushed, like I went like that. But my face was mostly protected by my giant sunglasses that protected my regular glasses so they didn't break, and also my helmet, because I do always wear a helmet that sticks out a ways, and it also has a visor. So my face could have hit a lot harder than it did. Yeah, right now my nose is a little bit numb, which kind of worries me that it might swell up later. But yeah, we'll see. But I did finish a book. I finished the audiobook, which isn't a Pride read, but I was reading it before June started. It was They Called Me a Lioness, which is about a head Tamimi who was arrested at 16 years old for slapping a Israeli military person who, soldier, that's what they're called, who came to her house and was basically harassing her family about half an hour after her cousin was shot and killed by other Israeli soldiers. And she had been an activist since pretty early on, and she talks about basically her whole life, how she grew up. Her family lived near a spring that was then that had belonged to the Palestinians, and they had been able to use it basically until she was a baby or so. And then the Israeli settlers came and settled all around it, renamed it, and basically wouldn't let them come get water there anymore. And so her village would organize marches down to that spring to protest, and at times they got violent, and that's kind of what led to her being so involved from such a young age. And then it talks about her time in prison and how she learned how to be an activist even more there, and how awful it is, and how it breaks a lot of international laws, and how she learned about international law while she was in prison, because there were women there who fought for her to get an education, for all of the girls, the minors, to get an education. And yeah, it was really interesting and really powerful, and yeah, it continues to expand my knowledge of what's going on over there. 5 stars. And now my next audiobook that I'm starting is Deaf Utopia by Niall DeMarco, who is deaf and has described his sexuality as fluid, I think. And it's a lot about sign language and the value of sign language and the deaf community and how the deaf community communicates, and how they make their way in the world. So that's really interesting so far. I gotta get back to cooking dinner. Hello there, it's a few days later and I've taken this band-aid off. My arms are doing better, but they itch a lot. So I've taken some NSAIDs to try to help with that. This arm is now more thoroughly bandaged. I messed up that whole area. And there's just a little dot of scab on the end of my nose because my nose was impacted. But I've been putting a lot of my creative energy into crafting this week, as well as reading and a little bit of writing. So I haven't filmed very much. I also wanted to wait till I had made significant progress on a book before I filmed, and I'm like in process of several books, but I finally finished one, and that is Deaf Utopia by Niall DeMarco. This is a memoir. I told you a little bit about it earlier, but he is a very conventionally attractive deaf man who at one time identified as sexually fluid, and most recently, according to the book, identifies as queer, as his sexuality shifted more towards being mostly attracted to men. So this is all about his childhood, growing up. He was born into a totally deaf family, so it talks a lot about his childhood and how he learned ASL right away, and then how he went to a school that conformed to the oralist idea that was put forward by a bunch of ableist people in, I think it was called the Milan Conference in like the late 1800s, where the teachers of deaf kids will not let them practice ASL and will only let them speak aloud and listen to spoken communication, which obviously made it very difficult for kids to learn anything because they can't understand what's being said because they can't hear it, even with hearing aids. And so it talks about that and about how his mother stuck up for him, and also how schools were different and improved gradually from the time his grandmother, who was also deaf, went to school, and then his mother, and then him, and how his father had a bad experience, and really interesting stuff. And then it goes into his time on America's Next Top Model, which he won, and then his time on Dancing with the Stars, which I think he came in second. I don't remember, but he did very well. And then it talks about how he went on after that to become involved in producing shows and movies and such that involve deaf roles, and how he would create deaf roles for people because there weren't enough deaf roles for even him to get an acting job, so he wanted to create those roles. So that's really cool, and has given me a show recommendation. I think it's called Deaf You. It's on Netflix, so I'm gonna look it up. Interesting and well done, I think. Yeah, it really held my attention the whole time. And while I was listening to this audiobook, I also was crocheting a lot. So one thing that I crocheted is this little dragon. He is a gift from my brother, who has a birthday next month. My brother doesn't watch these videos, so we're good. And also this bag that I'll show you. It is, I designed the belt a long time ago and made it, and the idea I had for a purse to go on it that was flower shaped wasn't working out. I couldn't figure out how to make the shape right at that size. And so I scrapped that idea and put it away for a long time, but then I saw a different pattern for a cute bag on Pinterest, and I decided to make that bag instead. So it's a little fold over satchel looking type thing, and it just has little straps on the back that hook onto the belt, and I really like it. So I'm really happy with that, and I finished it today. So yeah, I've had a pretty good week other than the smashing my face into the asphalt bit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be similar to this one. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more reading done and have more than 2 reviews for you, but we'll see. Also, I am going to be marking off and trying to look for books that fit the Diverse Pride Readathon, I think it's called. I'll put up the bingo card, and I checked off one this week with this Deaf Utopia book, and a few of the books that I've got planned to read next week and that I'm halfway through now. We'll also check some things off on there. And I think I haven't looked at the bingo board for the Queer Lit Readathon this year, so I need to look at that and see if I can check any of those off as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!